Ay, ay, ay. Here I am, after all this time. You're probably wondering, Ruben, where have you been? Where are you now? I've been on a mini vacation. I wanted to go visit a friend for his wedding, my sister's birthday. So I came down for both those things. It was great. It was a great trip. I say this now while I'm on the trip. Hopefully that still rings true at the end of it all when I'm editing this. However, on my flight here, something very strange happened. It was probably the weirdest experience with flying that I've ever had. So I woke up on the day that I was supposed to leave, and I'm like, all right, pack the last things I need to pack, get in the car, off to the airport. I'm at the airport, and I walk through the doors, and this lady is like, are you gonna check a bag? And I'm like, yes. And then they were like, well, you can't. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. And I was like, well, darn, that's too bad, because I need to check this bag. During my sleep, the flight got moved back 15 minutes. So it was departing 15 minutes earlier than expected. So I did not make it in time in order to check my bag at the counter. However, they said take it through security and then check it at the gate. So I go to security. I take my laptop, my tablet, all that jazz out of my backpack. And I put that on the stuff to go through, and the security officer looks at my bag and he's like, I don't think that's gonna fit. And I was like, huh. And then I took a look at it and I was like, you know what? I really don't think that's gonna fit. And thankfully the security officer there was kind enough to just try running it through, and it fit with this much space. There was no space. It was so tight. It was so tight. There was like this much space. Crazy. Anyways, got through security just fine. Go on over to my gate, and I get my bag checked to Salt Lake City, Utah. My end goal was Tucson. And I didn't realize it at the time, but they were only checking my bag to go through to Salt Lake City. So I fly through the air to Salt Lake City. I land, I get off my plane, and I was like, all right, I have to get to my gate because my plane leaves in 40 minutes. I did not have much of a layover. So I look at the screens, find out where the flight headed to Tucson is going to be at. I'm like, okay, I'm looking. D9. So it's at gate D9, but it's leaving at like 3 p.m. It was 8 a.m. at the time. 8 a.m. That's not 40 minutes away. That's like 7 hours away. So I think to myself, is this really what's happening right now? Turns out it was. Turns out the flight got moved to like another flight or something strange like that, and next thing I knew, I had like a 7-hour layover. However, that was a good thing, because as I was looking at my flight, I realized there's this little button. And there was this little button, track my bag. So I'm like, all right, boop, I'm bored. I don't know what else to do. So I click the button, and I find out that it is at the baggage claim in Salt Lake City. This is a serious problem, because if it's at the baggage claim, then there's no way it's going to get from Salt Lake City all the way over to Tucson. I need it in Tucson, not Salt Lake City. So I go and ask one of the Delta employees at the gate, what do I do in this situation? And they were like, well, you see, you go down to the baggage claim. Claim your bag, take it up to the counter, check it, and go through security, and you're set. And I was like, okay, sounds simple enough. So I go down and find my bag just like that. Like, it was so fast. I walked down there, walked over to the baggage claim terminal it was at, grab it, walk away. Like, that's how fast it was. However, I walked away into a line that was like, it was long. Apparently it was the time for people to be checking in for their flights. Anyways, I stand in line because I literally had nowhere else to be for the next 6 hours. So I'm just chilling in line. And eventually it's my turn to step up, and I'm like, all right, so here's my problem. I'm supposed to get this bag in Tucson, and I'm getting it here in Salt Lake City. Is there a way we can move it over to make it go to Tucson? And they were like, yes, absolutely. So they print out a label. They're like, look, see, it's going to Tucson. Slap it on my bag, and then I'm out of there. I'm going back through security. However, first I had to find how to get to security, and that was a little problem in and of itself. But I found it, and I take my laptop, my tablet, out of my backpack. And I send it on through. And then I walk through the scanner, and my right ankle goes off. And I'm like, this is strange. So anyways, they pat me down and they find out that it was just a zipper on my pant leg that sent it off. And I was like, that's what it was. Then I go to put on my belt and shoes, as one does after getting through security. And I see that my backpack was set off to the side to be searched. And I was like, well, this is great. It's not anything that I haven't been through before. So I'm kind of used to having my bag searched. I don't know if they have my name on a list and they're like, search his bag or what. But anyways, they got my backpack and they take it over, they set it down, and they're like, I'm going to have to search through this. There's no sharp items or anything in here. And I'm like, no, it's Gucci. Anyways, they search through it and they find that what went off in the scanner was just my sack of change. I just had a big old sack of change, and they were like, yeah, this is what it was. Nothing dangerous here. And I was like, perfect. And then I go on my merry way to my gate, and around 12 o'clock I started feeling sick. And I figured it was probably because I was malnourished and thirsty. There's a smash burger right over there. I'm gonna go get me some smash burger. So I go get my smash burger. I get my smash burger, and I also get a water from there as well, because I'm like, hydration is key. And so I grab my food, I eat it, I enjoy it, and immediately I feel 100% better. And earlier I saw a Jamba Juice, and I already had that on my list of things to do, is to grab a Jamba Juice. I'm like, all right, let's go get my Jamba Juice. So I go, and I walk up to Jamba Juice, and there's nobody there. The lights were on, everything was running, and there was nobody there. I was like, this is strange. So I look over the counter just to see if there's anyone like in the back or something. And it turns out behind the counter, there was this guy sitting down watching something on his phone. And I can't blame him. It was super dry in terms of customers. There was no one around except me. I was the one drop of water in a desert that was Jamba Juice. I fell down and splashed onto that desert. And I was like, excuse me, I would like a large strawberry lemonade, or no, strawberry surf, lemonade strawberry surf rider. The one that's got strawberry and lemon and it's like surf rider. Yes, that's the one that I got. Anyways, they made it for me. They were super nice. And yeah, then I went and I sat down and I sipped my smoothie and I waited for my plane. And yeah, the plane showed up, had a nice flight. There was some turbulence coming in as we were getting ready to land, but it was fun. It made it a more enjoyable trip. And yeah, then I got my baggage, strolled on out of the Tucson International Airport, saw my sister, and I was like, cool. And then, as I was putting my bag away into the back of her car, my best friend Mikey just shows up out of the blue and is like, hello sir, I'm here too. And so yeah, all in all, it was a good trip. But it was so weird in terms of everything that seemed to go wrong. And all the plans were kind of flip-flopped. But at the end of the day, it all worked out. And that's about all I could have asked for.